Good day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. Now, I haven't had a video for a few days, and that's because obviously I have explained that the mid game is really boring. I did one video that I just decided not to post up on the events that are currently on, and right now I'm actually just going to jump into something which I told you all about right in the start, how I measure my strength as a player. Now, the first thing that I said was you're going to keep playing on all of these until you can one-shot through certain levels, and when you can one-shot through them, then you just don't do them ever again. And I've actually managed to do it with this level, and you're seeing that I'm just basically dismantling most of this gear. That's because most of this gear is too weak for me. At 4-star, it's an absolute waste. This one here is actually more worth it, but it's not high enough level. I'm not going to keep an uncommon piece. And this is just with one shot here, so yeah, there we go. Alright, so let's start with easy. As I said, this is all about showing you something, and then I will explain what's going on after I'm done with this, how I managed to power up even further. Now, as I said, getting 6-star gear is one of the first things you're going to do. So here is the whole thing with that phase. Getting to your 6-star gear is going to pull you up to a certain level. Then beyond that level, you're going to have to get masteries from the Minotaur, basically from the Minotaur, and now from the Necropolis, because you're going to want to upgrade your gear even further. And as you saw, she did a special type of attack that invoked resilience. She's actually been upgraded to Giant Slayer along with my Galak. It means I have 2 Giant Slayers on this team, and they are putting out massive damage. In 2 turns, I'm already up to almost 1 million. I'm up to 1 million, right? 2 turns, 1 million, that's 500,000 per turn. And if you think about it, I can reach up to 50 turns over here, so that's a potential 25 million, right? So that's the potential that I have on the stage, but you're going to see exactly where it turns off. And this is just something that I have to show you. It's really important. Oh, 1 second. Sorry about that. The music that I play in the background is on a loop track, and if it goes through too many songs, then sometimes I can end up into a special set that I've been saving up, and I actually have to put in links to it when I use it, and I have to mention that I'm using those particular songs. So I just have to correct that before I went any further. Okay, it died down a little bit. I actually missed a few of those critical hits. There's no critical hit there. Nothing there. I really want to put critical hits on her. I also made a mistake with my Death Knight. Now, I was supposed to go Warhammer like Tim told me. If you had been watching my channel and you saw the little review that I had Tim do on my account, he gave me the advice of putting my champion on Warhammer instead of Giant Slayer. Although Giant Slayer and Warhammer are pretty similar, Giant Slayer is actually a little bit more efficient for players who have multiple strikes. So even if they strike twice, you have a higher chance of inflicting that damage than you do with a single strike. And your single strike assaults can just have that added to them. It makes a big difference. So for example, here you can see that was added right off the bat. We are falling behind that 500,000 per attack. But there's only one reason why I'm completing this. I just want to show you a complete wipe of the boss with just a single champion. Now, I would have done this here earlier before this day's challenge and showed you the results from a single hit the previous day instead of doing this entire challenge. But I decided that it's worthwhile showing because I was explaining why it's so important. Now, when your champions reach this level, you have to understand that the game is made very gimmicky, right? You see max HP destruction effect, turn meter effect reduction, HP exchange effect, right? So they actually reduce the amount of max HP damage you can do. Is that fair? Absolutely not, because it's made to do against a boss at a reduced rate, 3% or 4%. So you should do the full 4% against the boss. And example, this boss at 4% of his 19 million would be 190, 380, about 700,000 damage per hit. but none of the bosses can actually be hit with that crazy damage. So that means that it's a gimmick, and that means that it's false advertising on that path for whoever is playing it, right? So you can't really do your damage. The game does that intentionally because they don't want you to rocket through the game. Remember, people will just take on Warhammer and Giant Slayer, and eventually you'll just get a whole lot of people who decide they're going to save 800 gems right in the start, master out their main crit hitter, and they're going to get all the way to Nightmare in a matter of a week instead of having to have to struggle up and go through it in 40 days, right? That's what they want. They want you to struggle a little bit. They want you to take the longer route to the top. They don't want you to be there immediately. Sorry about that. I still have a bit that I also have to show you after this year, and yeah, that's going to be another whole topic on its own. But nonetheless, for all of you who are playing the game and you have come to this levels, you have to understand that this is just one of the things that you can do to actually bolster up your resilience. Okay, come on, Gathering Fury. Now, if you're doing exactly what I'm doing here and upgrading yourself so that you can do more and more damage and using these skills particularly for that reason, there is something else to note. Even with crazy damage like this here, you aren't going to be super efficient. The champions on my team who definitely would take the most amount out of this is most probably Ronda. Ronda most probably could do way more damage than these two put together. And that's no joke because she has the triple strike plus the triple strike plus in the corner, which shows up every once in a while. She has the potential to output at least 3 to 4 times what they can. Remember, the output potential is also with their counter assault because every hit has a chance of gaining that boost. On the other hand, if you're using Warhammer, things like retaliation and counter aren't going to be of any use to you because obviously they don't come in on those effects, and I am a very big counter player, so using counter so heavily means that I should keep that skill always active in that role. Do I reach 10 million by this time? Remember, at 50 the entire phase up changes. I believe it shows here. All attacks will ignore block damage and unkillable buffs on each target, and it also blocks revive. Right? Now, the block revive is absolutely not supposed to be there. If you look at it, a block revive from this boss, it's really unfair considering his health pool. And obviously, when I knock him out in this one, I'm not going to retain my key after killing the boss. I'm going to use up my key, and I still don't get to do excess damage way beyond that limit. And there is something else you can do. You can try and take it up here until you have enough damage to take on the second boss. But I strongly recommend you stop farming this boss the moment you can do what I'm about to do and max out. Oh, sorry. Okay, so I won't be able to actually complete this fight properly. Likely I'll have a little bit of a delay. You know that I have some electricity problems, and yeah, this is related to that somewhat. Let's switch this on again. You will see that my internet died immediately with that little flicker, and you might have seen a black screen for a few seconds, but I don't think the recording was cut, and if it is cut, you will come back after the fight where everything comes right. And this is something else that I've also noticed produce better results, and it's been the case for me every single time. I've beaten the dragon almost flawlessly whenever my power goes out against the dragon, even stage 16. I have fought stage 16 dragon, just for by the way, and against stage 16 dragon I did fantastically. And even with these powers, I don't do full assistant damage against the dragon, and counting it in at 3% of his million or so damage that he has. A million, 1% is 10,000, so 3% is 30,000. I'd have a 30,000 bonus added in. I wouldn't be able to tally it quite easily against the boss for the most part, but they also have heavy defenses that reduce the damage. Similarly with Minotaur, I've actually taken down my completion time against him with these two champions using the Giant Slayer. It's actually taking it down by a very small figure. It's not a huge figure. Oh, got double on that one. You saw that there are two strikes at once. That makes it a fantastic. I'm actually worried right now. Yeah, I'm very worried. I'm not so worried. I'm worried. I didn't get to do it. So yesterday I put in a solid 18 million against this boss at the end of that fight. So yeah, 18 million was a really crazy one. I was 1 million short of actually one-shotting him completely, but it was because he ended up putting on block revives non-stop, and you have these random fluctuations in every single assault that change up how much of damage you do. I was already at 18 million by the 40th turn, and I managed to get to the 50th turn with the full team because of revives, and then they had block revive applied to them. So yeah, that's why I didn't get any further than that. Can't wait for this champion to have Giant Slayer. I can only imagine how crazy it's going to be with this champion doing it as well. But yeah, this is going to be a long way. That'll be the first champion fully mastered if I put Giant Slayer on my Death Knight. Actually, the one closer is actually Galak right now. Death Knight has 340 or 320, I'm not 100% sure. And Galak has just under 302. Or it could be less because I actually did a full 10 run while I was asleep and wasted all of my energy. So yeah, there we go. 16 million. It's basically a wipe on that boss. Looking at it, it's a fantastic 86% damage. If you can do this here, you're definitely going to excel. The next, this one here wasn't Void, he was Force. No wonder I did less damage. Void is where I generally do my highest damage, so yeah, that would have been the actuality. So I'm just going to open this and go in this way. So let's go Mastery. 157. Oh, okay, so he pulled in quite a bit from last night. So only 200 or so left, so that's going to be Giant Slayer. 45 left so that I can give it max HP, up its damage. This is 376. Oh, actually, my Death Knight is the closest to maxing out. So yeah, here we go. This is what they have that's making it so special. And here's what we get. Based on max damage, there's a 30% chance of inflicting bonus damage when attacking. Bonus damage is equal to 7.5% of target champion's max HP. So if you have a champion with 50,000 HP because you managed to break that mark, 50,000 at 7.5%, it's easy to do 10% and then minus a quarter. So that would be 12.5, so around about 9,000 extra damage against a champion with 50,000 health, or 3% of target's max HP when attacking bosses. Now you see this 3%, it's reduced with almost every boss. It's a pointless skill to have given you. It should have ignored that effect, just like her skill over here, which is unblockable, right? Let's see, places a passive debuff before attacking. This debuff cannot be resisted, right? So it cannot be resisted. It should also apply to the bosses. But if it applies to the bosses, you take off all the special skills and you win easy. That's why they have it in such a way. It's just a gimmick for them to make sure that you keep playing. So yeah, that was one of the things that I had to talk about. So overall, you saw the difference that Giant Slayer made. In terms of these champions, they haven't been upgraded in any other way besides masteries. And that mastery took them up 10 million in damage against a boss that they barely do 6 million against, right? They do 5.6 against Force champions. It's just that I didn't see the red symbol. Yeah, I saw a purple triangle. So I thought I was being void. Force champions have crazy damage outputs and they interfere with your general pattern. I've only started to reach 10% on the level that I'm doing right now, and I might just pause this video and bring you back at the end to see how much of damage was done. So yeah, I'm actually going to do that there. So I'll catch you all then. Just hold on for a second. Okay, so I'm back. I believe I'm reaching the end. I think I'm about 5 turns away from the end of this run. And this is, as you know, normal mode, right? Not easy. And as you can see, 8.587 million. That's almost 15%. Okay, there's a big hit. This here might just finish me off. So let's see how it goes. Might just make it to another massive percentage up, because that yeah, there's it, 9.1, 9.2, 9.3 is where I need to be. Alright, so there I go, 9.2. So let's skip this. I don't think anybody else, somebody else should jump in, so I can't show you exactly how many percent, but between the two of us, which is 10 million, it's 17%. Obviously you can do that there, an easy calculation. I did 9/10 of that damage, so I was probably closer to 15%, right? If you look at the 60.62, so 6,062, 6.1, 12.1 would be 20%. So I'm really close to it, and if I keep building up a Giant Slayer, I most probably will be able to do a solid 20 or 30 million out of this boss in a single hit. This boss is a little bit too hard, but one of the things that I do have to complain about is the non-scaling of damage. Remember, I have max HP damage, and this is 3 times higher. So are you saying that the defense is 3 times higher, and then if you go down from year to year, this is 3 times higher again? So you're saying that it keeps going 3 times higher each time on defense? Doesn't make enough sense for how little damage I'm outputting. Definitely over nerfing the ability to make it easier for the bosses to survive. So yeah, a little bit of an unfair advantage to say the least. Oh, I'm almost out of this. Didn't realize that. I do not want to get demoted to a lower league. It's simple. Gold 2 is the place I've been for the longest right now. Oh, this right? So I'm really pushing to keep in there. And yeah, that's just about it. I've shown you the results of using Giant Slayer, and I hope that you all did enjoy that for the most part. But here's something else to note. If you are playing and you know that you're going to go single hit champions or only do a single strike instead of multi-strikes, go Warhammer. Warhammer is going to give you a 60% chance you're not doing Resilience. And even if you are doing, not Resilience, you're not doing Counter-Strike or Revenge. And even if you are going that way with the single strike attack, enemies who only hit once, it's of no use. Example would be this champion here on the side. He only hits once. This champion only hits 2 times and once every 3 skills. So yeah, it's not really worth it to have him with a Giant Slayer. I'd rather just improve the base assault on this champion over giving Giant Slayer to a champion like that. And yeah, that's the whole story. That's everything that I have for this. So catch you all in the next one. Have a good day.